Hello YouTube, welcome back to my stoop for another delivery of my series on how to start smoking a pipe or how to smoke a pipe, mainly because of questions by my son and his friends and other colleagues who asked what do you do and where do you start and what do you need to know about all these things. Now today is going to be all about tobaccos, and the funny thing is, for many years I've just smoked whatever I liked at that stage, never really interested in any other blends or information on tobacco. So this was actually a learning curve for me during the last few weeks, and mainly because of everything that I read on the forums and all community friends who make comments and review tobacco and things. And up till recently I was not really interested in tobaccos and blends and different tobaccos and TAD. I thought, why TAD? Why tobacco acquisition disorder? I know I've got PAD, but TAD not so much. Until I started reading about different recipes, and I got interested, and I got latakia, or as the Americans say, latakia. I'm not sure where the accent should be on the A or the kia. So let's say latakia, latakia. But yeah, and when I smoked that the first time and read about the origins of latakia, I was very intrigued, and that started a process in me of wanting to know more about the different tobaccos and where they come from, and even the planting of those tobaccos. All I know, for example, is that most new pipe smokers that I know of is cherry tobacco, sweet cherry tobacco. That's what they like. Even the small cherry cigarillos are very popular for people who's not really constant smoking. So I'm definitely not a fundi at this stage. There's a lot of people who know still much more than I ever will know probably. But I just thought, well, I'm going to share what I've experienced, because part of making a video about it is also to share, and to expand also my knowledge. So if you've got comments on my video and want to add on, please, please, let's chip in and let's make our comments, because the more info, the better it is to understand the tobacco and where they come and what role they play. So my first topic will be aromatics and non-aromatics. As I said, I didn't even know that there's really a difference. I know rum and maple, which I don't like, and I know cherry, which I didn't like, and still I don't like that. But I thought, I really never thought really that they were artificially added to with additives and aromatics to make it smell specific something. I don't know why I thought about it, didn't think about it, because really it makes sense. But yeah, so for newbies who starts out with starting to play around with, and even old people who wants to start out with tobacco and different tobaccos, and even wants to try their hand on blending, here are a few things that I've learned over the past few months after reading up and talking to tobacco farmers. Luckily we're living in a tobacco farming area, so I could get some information on that also. So maybe also, just as a start, again a disclaimer, I'm not going too deep into the science of aromatics and how they do that and everything, because I'm just going broadly to give a definition of how I see it, because a lot of tobacco are, in any case, even if it's go through as an non-aromatic tobacco, they still go through a process of curing or stoving. No, sorry, of what's the word that I'm looking for? There's a specific word that they use, where even untreated and non-aromatic tobacco do have some additives added to you know, to enhance the flavor. So I'm not going to into that specific science, because that can be a long and difficult subject. I'm going to be broadly about aromatics and non-aromatics. Aromatic tobacco is any tobacco, as I see it, that has been flavored with a additive, whether it's natural or non-natural. But if it's been added with a flavor, then that would go in my books through as an aromatic tobacco. For example, cherry, you know, they add cherry flavor to it. It might be maraschino cherry, it might be whatever. So honey, vanilla, licorice, all those type of flavors that you will get, and specifically mentioned as such, will be classified in my terms then, broadly speaking, as a aromatic tobacco. You know, even if it's lightly topped with a natural flavoring for the room note, whatever you think about it, that would go through as an aromatic tobacco. A non-aromatic tobacco, and that is where my liking lately lies, will be any tobacco that has not gone through such flavoring. Now, again, remember what I said in the past, earlier, that even non-aromatic tobaccos can have some flavoring to it, but that's very much detailed. To me, non-aromatic will be tobaccos that has got little or no flavorings at all. So when they say that there's a certain smell and taste that you get from that tobacco, it would be the master's touch of adding certain types of tobacco to get that flavor. For example, if you do get a tobacco that has a very nice nutty type of flavor, and maybe even sweet that goes with it, then it's not added with a nut flavoring, but it's burley, a mixing of burley and Virginia and other tobaccos to eventually get to that point where the tobacco has got this specific room note. The same to say for a very earthy smell and room note would be more Latakia, more Orientals. Very spicy would be more Orientals, and those kind of things. So, to me, that would be then a blender who uses different tobaccos to eventually get to this very nice flavor. And that to me is the craftsmanship, the skill of a tobacconist, is to be able to get a flavor from tobaccos by blending different tobaccos together, and the right amount of each to get that specific flavor that they want, and that to me is craftsmanship. That is difficult. That to me is something that I would like to achieve, and which I appreciate. To get a flavoring from tobacco by adding flavors, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's obviously a little bit easier because you can just add the amount of flavorings to it as you wish. But to get to a flavor by blending very, very specific tobaccos and quantities of that, and to get that to a nice flavor, that is, to me, is really a craftsmanship. The other thing that is very important, or not important, but very interesting with aromatic versus non-aromatic tobaccos, is that it is seen by many that as you go along and as you grow and as you develop your smoking techniques, and the longer you smoke, the more you tend to move away from non-aromatics. I read a forum, for example, where someone said that when they were young and when they were just started smoking pipe, they smoked aromatic, and nowadays they only smoke non-aromatics, as if aromatic are still the newbie type of thing. But interesting though is that a lot of old smokers will still go back to aromatic tobaccos from time to time, because sometimes your taste buds and the setting and whatever you have with it calls for for a nice flavor. If I, after dinner with a nice pudding, and I maybe have a whiskey, then a whiskey flavored tobacco or a black Cavendish whiskey flavored would be nice. It goes well together. So, and as one blogger wrote, I think his name was Chris Garlasco, he wrote in his blog that the funny thing that he found was that these older tobaccos secretly go back to aromatics, as if they don't want other people to know that they actually still go back from time to time to aromatics. And I think that is true. As I said, I moved over to non-aromatic tobaccos, which I do like a lot because it's closer to the earth and to the nature kind of smell and feeling for me. But even now, every now and then I do want that little bit of sweeter taste, like a licorice, and then I go and fill a pipe with that tobacco. So don't let tradition or people or anything tells you that you need to move away from aromatics. The longer you smoke. Again, back to my old story. It's all about you and your enjoyment. If you are a 30-year-old pipe smoker or a 50-year-old pipe smoker and you still like cherry tobacco, who cares? It's you who needs to enjoy it. And that's what it's all about. Is that you want to go and have your pipe, and sometimes you want an earthy feeling and an earthy smell, like way back in the 1900s and 1800s, as you would have imagined it. And sometimes you just want a little nice room note and a nice sweeter taste. That's all up to you. So, friends, with that then, I've got a very interesting tobacco here. I bought a base tobacco which is non-aromatic, and then I added some aromatics to it. A little bit of mocha, which I had too much of, and I thought I'll just add a little bit to enhance the strength. And now I've got a very nice tobacco and a little bit of sweetish character that comes through, but just enough not to make it too sweet. And the mocha also is I can't hardly find the tobacco, the mocha in there, so it's actually my own blend here. And I'm smoking this today in my Peterson standard system pipe with a P-lip, because my tongue needs to rest a little bit, and the smoke reaching the top of your mouth does ease a little bit on the tongue bite. That's all for today. As I'm sitting here and finishing this pipe, the next video might be a little bit longer, because that will be about all the different tobaccos. And again, I'm not going to mention everything because I don't know of all of them, and there my friends can add to that on the comments when I get to that video. But I'm going to mention the broad ones which I came to know about, and which I enjoy. So watch out for the next video about tobaccos, the other, like Virginias and those. This one was on the aromatic and non-aromatic things. So as I said, if there's any additional comments that you would like to make and correct me, please. We do this to learn from each other. A little bit windy today on my stoep, and I've still got this flu that is putting me down a bit. But on that note then, bye-bye, and thank you for watching, and please come back for the rest of this series. Thank you. Bye-bye.